Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Seminar. I am going to say this. You know how much these people are agitating for, like, let's have our own space so these people can have their own space. Like, that is segregation, right? One thing I want to tell you is that even if both parties are segregated, trust me, Black people, they will still come over to you to tell you some certain things. And this video will explain it better for you. One thing I have watched these people, one thing I have learned from them is that no matter what it is, they will always look for a way to create a story or a narrative where Black people are not and slot in Black people into it. No matter what it is, there is always a way to bring Black people into a scene they never appeared in. Then there is a video also that tells you how they're privileged. You know how they talk about they do not have privilege. Every story or every word on this video tells you how some of them have benefited so much from their privilege. There are some things they get away with it. My people cannot get away with it. Even if you did not do it, even if you are just standing there, as long as you are present there, you are the problem. Let's get into this video.
They would never be happy even if they got what they want. Shit, even that little whites only town, they said, oh, we want to create a whites only town. Okay, we don't give a fuck. Do it then. And that motherfucker failed within a year. Now all them niggas is reintegrating back into Gen Pop. Like, even if they got what we wanted, even if right now, this very instant, we split the fucking country in half and all them niggas went over there and everybody else they claim to hate went on the other side, they would still have issues. They would still have issues. There would be shit going on their side of the country that has nothing to do with everybody else. Just like how there's shit going on in their community right now that has nothing to do with everybody else and they're blaming everyone but themselves. They would be having issues over there. Turn to the left and say, you know what? We gonna pick a war with these niggas. Why? Because they're miserable, bro. They're miserable. They need somebody to be the bad guy all the time because they're incapable of looking within themselves and making change. I'm so tired of this argument, especially people of color be like, well, maybe if we did this, maybe if we did that, then everybody could be nice and they would be. No, bro, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because they don't see you like that. You will always be beneath them. Even if they knocked over the glass and broke, they would still turn to you and ask you, why did you break that glass? They don't care. They don't care. Sometimes I genuinely do wonder if maybe we would have been better off if desegregation never happened. But the problem is, even when we did have our own towns and cities, our own Black towns and cities, and we were doing perfectly fine, not having anything to do with these niggas. Mind you, as soon as slavery was over and we started having the ability to actually go out and do things on equal playing field, they were like, what the fuck? These niggas are catching up rather quickly. Like, no, we got to do something about that. And just started burning shit down and sacking shit and terrorizing once again with free reign. Like, it was never a question of should we have segregation or not, because regardless, we were never going to have peace. We will never have peace because there's always going to be a boogeyman sitting over your shoulder trying to urge you, and they want a reaction. They want a reaction. That's what all this is. Because what reason would you fuckers need to go to and talking about, we didn't know it was HBCU? Yes, the fuck you did. Stop. Like, okay, so you just showing up to random colleges, you don't know anything about them, you didn't research or just do a simple Google search? Because one Google search would have told you that was a fucking HBCU. Like, please, can we stop the lies? You want to go show up to a HBCU campus to do that little fuck ass debate shit because your nigga got by your own people. Had nothing to do with Black people. Sending bomb threats to HBCUs had nothing to do with Black people. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, just admit you're a fan. Like, why is it like you preach and you hoot and holler and scream about how you don't like Black people or you don't like these kind of people? You talk about us more than we're talking about ourselves. Like, bro, just give it a rest. Give it a rest. You're out of it. You're lying. You're a fan, dude. Like, if you really, my thing is, when I don't like somebody, you're not going to hear a peep out of me about them. You don't exist to me. You're nothing. You're nobody. When you don't like people, you make it your entire personality. your entire personality. Why is that? We need to do some deeper reflection and ask, why is that?
Let's see, white privilege isn't about being rich.
White like me. Where did that come from?
Well, you know, most of us have heard of, if we haven't read, the old book Black Like Me by John Howard Griffin. It was written and released in 1960, written in 59, released in 60, as I recall. And this was a story of a white guy, white journalist, who decided that the only way that he could raise consciousness and really understand for himself what it was to be black was to take medicine, do UV rays for like 3 months and become black for the summer, and then go through the South and experience it and then write about it. And I remember reading that when I was in high school, like a lot of us did. And I remember thinking, okay, that's nice, but why don't we just talk about what it means not to be black? Because those of us who are white never going to be black. We don't know that story except secondhand. I said, why don't we just talk about what it means to be white? What does it mean to be white in a country that was set up by people like you for people like you? And so I feel that if we could talk about privilege, if we could talk about our own experiences with advantage, the flip side of black and brown oppression, that we'd have a better insight. Yet he says he never experienced white privilege because he wasn't rich. But see, white privilege isn't about being rich. If you can live in a middle-class neighborhood like Levittown in the 1950s and in the 1960s at a time that, and you got a FHA loan, your family got a government-backed loan to get that house, and then you're going to say that you've never benefited from whiteness, you're just not paying attention, or you are and you're lying. Any white person that was born before 1964, when the Civil Rights Act was passed, by definition was born into white privilege. I don't even know how anybody could argue that point. And I would say that since 1964, even though some things have changed on the books, the institutionalization of inequality is such that even those of us born after are still reaping privileges. You know, I think about the killing of Eric Garner, I think about the killing of Mike Brown and all these other young black men, and I think about all the things that I did when I was that age, criminal things for which I could be doing hard time right now, selling drugs, using drugs, running a fake ID mill to help white people drink underage in bars in New Orleans, grand theft, vandalism of government property. I did a lot of these things before I was 20, and I've gone through and looked at the statutes. If I'd been caught for all these things, I could be doing 30 to 40 years. I mean, I saw more drugs in my dorm room than I saw in public housing when I worked there for 15 months, but the cops are all down in public housing. They didn't come to room 804 Monroe Hall at Tulane University, and for that, I'm very grateful. It just goes to show what privilege is, you know?
You took the action of doing those things, those illegal things,
Yeah.
which one might say were thuggish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You ever been called a thug?
No, never been called a thug, and never been. In fact, when I talk about those things, I mean, I tell those stories because I think they're valuable and important to tell, but it is interesting too. The reaction is like, it's funny. You know, people find it humorous that I had a cop pull me over coming back from Texas back to New Orleans with other folks in the car, and there was probably a half an ounce of weed, probably 12, 13 hits of acid, 5 or 6 hits of X, and the cop pulled me over, and I'm trying to find my license, and I couldn't find it, but my fake was right there, my fake ID. And the cop saw it, and he goes, "Isn't that it?" And I'm like, no, that's something else. And I kept fumbling. He didn't ask to see it. He had to know that was a fake, but he didn't search the car. You know, so it's not just that I've never been called a thug. I've never been treated like a thug or like a criminal, even though I was doing things. I mean, there were 2 black guys on our hall at Tulane my freshman year. One of them got high, one of them didn't. But even the one that didn't want to be around us because we were getting so high. He was afraid. He was like, I got to get high somewhere else, because we would have like 3-foot bongs, because white folks just can't smoke a joint apparently.
You are really giving
We
folks that
had
don't like you.
technology. But even the black guy that got high said, look, when y'all are smoking, I've got to run, because if the cops come up here, they're taking me, and you're going to get rehab, and you know, and then I'm going to jail. So he said, let me know when you're getting high, and I'm going to go somewhere else. And that's, you know, that's the thing. Like, until we actually are grappling with that and understand, we have to demystify this narrative of who's a criminal and who's breaking the law. Because the research says actually up to 90% of all Americans have broken some law at some point that's serious enough that they could have gone to jail. But clearly 90% of Americans are not in jail. And there's a reason for that, and that's about racism and white privilege.
Thing is, like, white people are not doing well. They're not okay. And I want to take a few minutes to talk about white privilege, because in my career, I've had the opportunity to look at 1,000 pay stubs and 1,000 credit reports, and a lot of them are broke. A lot of them, like, if that's white privilege, like, if that's what you make, if those are your prospects, if that's what white privilege affords you, I'm good on that. You can keep that. That's a struggle. The other thing I've noticed is that White people move differently. Capitalism is designed to keep us in debt bondage. Racism does exist, but white people spend their money differently. They have different priorities. They have different financial outcomes. Has nothing to do with redlining. Has nothing to do with inherited wealth. They move differently. Some of them are complete white trash. They don't come from any level of privilege. I went to school with kids who I remember this kid, Kenny, telling me that he had to eat fucking canned food, old canned food, because there was no food in the house. And I know they qualify for food stamps. So he had one trifling ass parent that couldn't be bothered to go out and put food in the refrigerator that they don't have to pay for because they were too busy getting drunk or high. I didn't go through that. I have a level of privilege that shielded me from that bullshit. Like, my parents, they were dysfunctional, but they showed up for me. We were always supported. We always had food in the refrigerator. So I'm just going to tell you, like, there's a difference between a white couple that makes $35,000 and the other one makes $40,000. They don't have a car. They live in a shitty apartment. You know what I'm saying? They're not running up credit card debt. They're not fucking financing shit they can't afford. They're not going on vacations and trips. They live like actual fucking poor people. Then I'll get like a single black woman, you know, credit shot, car note, $700 some a month, always late on rent, got a good job. It's expensive out here. We move differently. This couple decided not to have children because they can't afford them, which is fucked up. It's fucked up that people can't afford to have families. It's fucked up that we're just one big marketing experiment and we're being used all the time. But like, that's everybody. And I'm not going to argue with anyone about it, because I've literally seen 1,000 credit reports and thousands of pay stubs. And I see how people live. I see how they spend their money. When I see anomalies, I'm like, give me some context for this. Help me understand how you got here. Oh, well, my mama was using my social security number, so I've just been trying to recover my identity for 5 years. Oh, my friend stole my identity, and, you know, I'm just fighting, and I don't know what to do, and I just let everything go. My husband left me and he just became a complete fucking monster, and he did everything to sabotage me, and I got stuck with the kids, and now I'm just trying to rebuild up, and I'm fucking angry, and I have an attitude because you're asking me these questions in the first place, because I got fucked over, and I'm gonna take it out on the world because I had babies with somebody named Shit. And this motherfucker, instead of making sure that I'm good so that I can take care of our children, this motherfucker is doing everything to sabotage me. These are the stories I hear. We move differently. So it's not about trying to like act like all these systems don't exist. It's just like, if you fall for every trap that's set for you, if you have a set of dysfunctional ass fucked up behavior that is nobody else's fault and there's nothing that no one else can fix. That's all I'm saying. I want these systems to fail too. They're going to fail. I'm happy that they're failing. We get to create a new system. This is a good thing. But like, I'm not just gonna get.
This is all I got from this video. This particular one absolutely explained it, like the way he said it. He told a story. Boy, his story was about the privilege. And this is for people that keeps telling, you know, one of my friends, he always tell me that I have black privilege. And I asked, what do you mean by black privilege? He said, because you were not born in poverty. He said he was born in poverty. I have told this story several times here. I've never heard black privilege before. And that was the beginning of our problems, actually. Because what do you mean that I was not born in poverty? That I'm privileged, that my parents... He told the story, and every story he told, every word he said was privilege, back to back, back to back. Then I am going to also talk about what this beautiful sister talked about. Like, you know, even if they, like, you know how they are always very ready to talk about our segregation, let there be segregation, blah, 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 blah. Even if there is segregation today, they will still not be happy. They will still live that segregated the way it is now. They will still live this thing to come for you, because you see what happened within these few weeks has actually shown me a whole lot. It has really, really, really shown me a lot. And it is left for you to learn, and it's also left for you not to learn. It's easy. And that is, no matter what happens, there is always a way to bring in Black people into the scene, whether they are there or whether they are not there. There is always a way to fix them into that story. If there is no way, they will create it, because they've been creating it. Did you hear what Tim Wise said? He said that the Black person said, even if I get high with you and we get caught, you will go to rehab and I will go to prison. It's as simple as that. Or even if he did not smoke and he was caught at the scene, he will still end up in prison. Get a lawyer before they start asking, did he smoke or did he not smoke? And then by then, he probably might have spent how many before they start, okay, let's do drug tests. You know, let me tell, this is the last story I am going to tell, and I will go. There is a video that I saw, a Black man that got arrested, right? And they whisked him away, took him to the station, and then they needed to test his saliva, right, to know if he's drunk or something like that. And he already told them that he's not drunk. And they were asking him, do you have anything on? He said he doesn't have anything on him. And the nurse, one of them, they pulled out the testing this thing and gave the cup, and the cup was like, okay, open your mouth. He opened his mouth. They slaughtered, bring it out. It was showing green. It was not showing that, he said, something must be wrong with this. That was what he said. And the lady took that back, took the tester from him, and checked. He said, it's working well. Gave it back to him, and then he tried again. It was the same thing. The other police started running away. He said, I give it up. I am going. I am leaving. I am leaving. They started leaving. They also, there was also, right, to them, they have seen meat, and when they tested the first one, the other one was like, I think we have to let it go. I think we have to, They said the first one, the second one, all of them started dispersing before the other man could conclude. Did this tell you something? No matter how you try to convince them, that you cannot convince them of anything. So you see that privilege, every word he said was back to back. Bye for now.